Yes, you may have frozen cherries. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you feeling today?
Doing good.
Good. Awesome. Well, let's celebrate. You got your message recorded.
I did.
So that's exciting. Have you had any voicemails or anything left yet?
No.
Okay. Okay.
The phone rings a lot though.
Good. Hey, that's great. Did you get your boundaries like and hours and all that kind of stuff set up?
Not quite. I'm pretty sure it's a nudge, but to kind of consolidate my calendaring apps, because my Android app does not sync with Google Calendar online.
Oh no.
That I use on my phone or on the computer. Like there's something that's going on. They're not syncing together.
Oh.
So I can update my calendar on the computer and it won't show on my phone until like hours later or something. I've used Outlook before when I was working full time, and I know that I haven't synced Outlook to bring in multiple email accounts before, but I know I can do that. So, and I can print. I know I can print on other things, but the idea was just get Outlook set up so that I can filter emails, but always look at it in one place type thing.
Right, right.
So, and to have certain email accounts for certain things. So, because there's going to be a lot more emails coming in. So,
good.
There already are.
Yay! That's good. That means your name's getting out there. That means business is coming to you.
Yeah, training opportunities, just stuff like that. So it's all good. I just need to like get my system in place to receive it all.
Right.
So,
right.
I don't know if you've heard of the Learn, Do, Become.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So that's what I bought a while back. And like she talks about getting a command central set up, and it's not just getting your desk set up. It's like giving your brain space to process everything, like a time and a place and all of those things. Adeline, get down, please. I need you to be careful so you don't get hurt. Okay. They're in the freezer. You can use a chair and go get them. Okay. So, at Christmas, I got $120 in gift cards for Ace Hardware.
Uh-huh.
So I went and bought this today.
Nice. Nice.
So now I can hang stuff that needs drilling.
That's awesome.
Borrowing.
Right. That's great. So
added to my inventory of tools.
Right. It's always nice to have them at hand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I found that when we moved away from my family, we used a lot of what my dad had. And and then we're like, wait, we don't have like, what do we do? We don't live close anymore.
Yeah, my dad's an engineer. And so, we grew up doing a lot of DIY stuff. And when I moved out of the house to go to college, that was one of the things that we bought, was just a little, like, it's called a do-it-yourself kit.
Oh, nice.
But it's got like all the basic tools. And so I still have that. Some of the tools don't work, but I still have the kit.
Uh-huh.
And so I have lots of tools.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's awesome that you can do it yourself, like that you have that skill. That's a fabulous skill to have.
Yes, very much. So,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, well, you put on your intake form that you wanted to talk about growing your vision. So is that still where you want to go today?
I think it's a lot of visualization that I need to do personally.
Okay.
Just like what does it look like when I've completed my libs, those types of things, each of those.
Yeah.
So, and then this week also, now I can't remember his name. Anyway, the concept of heart coherence or heart-mind coherence. It's an actual physical science where you align your heart, your mind with your heartbeat so that it's all synced together. It's a mindfulness thing. And so learning to do that more. We have there's a graph so I spent Thursday afternoon plotting, like gathering data from my blood work. And so like I have this chart. This is my blood work numbers. And when I was talking with the doctor on Monday, he's like, if you just ignore this part, the trend continues as if it never even happened. And this time space, this is about a month after I started Rise Up, is when this drop happened.
Right.
So the oncologist doesn't know that, but the other doctor that I work with does. And he's like, isn't that an interesting correlation?
Right.
You change your thought and you can change your numbers. I'm like, yeah. So getting that aligned is going to help a lot. And it's like we're going to start a new medication in a couple weeks. And it will target the I have two they're two specific genes. They're the same gene mutation, but there's two genes that are expressing it. And so this medication will target those genes.
Okay.
Which gene is expressing more. It's not being affected by the current medication I'm taking. So like asking the question to the doctor, what about the genetics, and just literally watching the light bulb turn on in his eyes to know that this is the next step.
Right.
Like I could see it. So
cool.
So it's falling into place. We have to go through all the hoops to get all the stuff started. And
right.
But I think it'll be good.
Good. Awesome. So what can I help you with in that aspect, in growing your vision? What questions do you have? Or
I've never thought big before. Like, I know that in a sense, one of the questions that is asked, how good are you going to let life get? And so like, that's basically the only question that I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, what do I want to do with my life? I've never been in a place where I could literally do whatever I wanted.
Okay.
So, I don't know, any tips or things as I go there?
Yeah. So first, you get to allow for yourself to dream big. So when those thoughts come up of like, well, I don't know what that looks like, I don't know what I want, like, because those thoughts are going to come up as you're doing this, just cast them aside and let your imagination take over. This is going to be about the use of your imagination.
Okay.
And I know I wrote, the look around less, imagine more. That's going to be so important as you're getting clear and as you're visualizing, what does this look like?
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things I realized just in focusing on what I'm not wanting with my kids. Like, what will it look like when we're all working together? What's it going to feel like? how's it going to be? So
absolutely. Like if you're having conversations with your kids, if you're like me, sometimes you have the conversation in your own head before you have it with your kids, right? Mm-hmm. Have that conversation in the way you want it to occur. Like, so go over that in your mind over and over. Okay, this is how I want our conversation to go with our new chore system. This is how I want them to respond. This is, these are the questions I want them to ask. Like, go over that over and over in your head so that it's a very positive experience. And then when you bring it to your kids, you've already lived it. Like you've lived it, you've had a positive experience. And so that's then what you're expecting. And then you're able to have a much more productive and again, like what you focus on expands. And so the conversation's going to go in a much better direction than as if you were like, well, they might say this or they might say that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. That helps.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Were you going to ask?
Yeah. I was just going to say, I just need to do that with all of my libs, like to do that. So that I can connect to those emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you coming to the Rise Up event?
I'm planning on it.
Okay. I believe, I may be wrong, but I think she's going to teach you something that will really help with that at the Rise Up event.
Okay.
That we're really going to help lock in there. So that will be fabulous.
What are you doing? I'm in a phone call with my coach right now. And then I'll be on with Dr. J. So that's a Tuesday, Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I did not notice the date change for the EC conference, and so I won't be able to go next week.
Shoot. Oh, shoot.
So we have dance competition Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
And school plays and.
Right. Did you get a new EC date set up? Like, can you go in June or October?
Yeah, I told Megan I could go in June.
Oh, good. Good.
So
it all worked out.
Yeah, it's kind of bummed, but that's okay.
Right. I can see that.
Okay.
Okay. What else? What else is coming up?
So I feel like I'm running out of time a lot.
Okay.
Because my program is ending. Yeah, ending at the end of April.
Okay. So when you are approaching that time scarcity, is it, I don't have enough time to get through the modules? I'm not feeling complete. Like, what's going on there?
I want to continue. And I have not paid my parents back yet.
Okay.
Or even started to for Rise Up. And they're already helping me with the health program. And I want to be able to pay for it myself.
Okay.
So I will not be able to pay for it up front, but I want to be able to cover the monthly tuition for whichever program I continue with.
Okay. Okay. So this is going to be about getting uncomfortable, growing your wealth consciousness, and digging some channels. So you've dug channels. I watched you did fruit leather at Christmas time, mm-hmm. right? Like, so what channels can you start digging, and what channels do you already have dug?
Well, I've been thinking about like making and selling jams, and most of it will happen in the fall, but some of it can happen in the spring.
Okay. With
strawberry season, and then again with apricots in July. But most of because all the things that I do with fruit, I've made pie fillings, So I can do that with apples and peaches. I have a large dehydrator. So not only can I do fruit leather, I also dehydrate like apple rings. So I can sell apple rings. The people always love those. But doing different types of jams, so like apricot jam, strawberry jam, maybe strawberry rhubarb. I've never done that before. Like plum jam is because I have the 2 trees. And there's neighbors around me that have apricot trees, pear trees, apple trees, and I have plum trees.
Okay.
So most of this fruit is free of charge. It just, I hate to see things go to waste.
Uh-huh.
And I can buy the peaches to do stuff with. But basically to do as much as possible without having to buy as much fruit type stuff.
Right.
So, and hopefully this year will be a good raspberry year. They did not grow last year.
Okay.
But like those come on in August.
Mm-hmm.
And like doing like selling raspberry jam, because I can freeze raspberries, but I don't use them. I hate the seeds.
Okay.
So, but I can make the jam and sell it.
Right.
So, those kinds of things those have been in my mind, but there are certain specific times
right
that those are going to happen.
Right, for sure.
So that's a channel that I'm planning on using. Initially, it was like, okay, so I use that for Christmas money, but I could also use it for back to school money or whatever the purpose is for that money.
Right.
So, and then I have the channel of my business that if I have no doubt that when I set up my schedule, and I can easily do a little bit every day to make contact with people and to get appointments set. And what my supervisor was saying, if you are calling, like make 2 appointments each day and have like hold 2 appointments that day, it's like that's going to get you somewhere really quick.
Okay.
And that was from somebody higher up in the company. So that was kind of his mantra.
Mm-hmm.
So he's mentioned different leaders, different mantras, but just to get into a rhythm,
right,
of working. And like the big thing, did I tell you about my aha with work?
I don't think so.
So I think it was at least a week ago that I had the realization that the reason I'm still resisting working is because of the meaning that I've given to work. Because I stopped working and then I was diagnosed. So I haven't been to work since before the divorce and before my diagnosis.
Okay.
And actually, it was on the Rise Up call because I talked with Allison about it.
I think I remember on the Rise Up call, yes.
So it was that idea of, okay, what is work for me then? What is this? I need to redefine what work is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess part of me thinks that this process, like I'd have to plan out a big amount of time and like sit and meditate and like, okay, I'm ready for the download or whatever. And I don't know if that will come that way. I don't know that that's how I roll.
Right.
And every time I feel like I want to do that, it's like, when is that time going to be? Mm-hmm. There's always something that comes up. And so if I need to just take like a few minutes each day and do that.
One simple thing you can do in the morning, like as part of your morning routine is, okay, Heavenly Father, who needs me to reach out? Like, do you have an email list, or I know you went to a conference and have names from there, right? Mm-hmm. If you have that list and you're like, help me see like the people I should reach out to today.
Yeah.
And that gives you that action step to move forward with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are the only channels that I can think of. So
okay.
At least those are the ones that are there now.
Right.
Will be.
Right. Okay. So what are you doing currently for your wealth consciousness? Are you reading books? Are you still reading Science of Getting Rich? What's going on that way?
So I realized today that I haven't listened to it in a while, so I need to start listening to that again. But I have a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It.
Okay.
It was also written in the 1920s.
Oh, okay.
But this one's by a woman. And the principles, like I can see the principles that Allison teaches being, and there's a lot of overlap. It's a lot more, I guess, layman's terms. It's not quite so, it's not written the way that Wallace words his stuff. It's a lot more of a story type thing. But it's by Florence Scovel Shinn.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And are you reading it daily?
I was talking animatedly when she said, "No more talk. I wish you."
Sorry, go ahead and ask your question.
No, you're fine. Are you reading that book daily, or how often are you?
I haven't been. I listened to it. No, it's been a few days at least since I've listened to some of it.
Okay.
I bought the physical copy and I wanted to go back and listen to what I've listened to, but also to like follow along too.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's on YouTube, the reading of it.
Oh, okay.
And they have the chapter timestamped in the in the comments, so that makes it easier to go to whichever one I want. But she has like the game, the law of prosperity, the power of the word, the law of non-resistance, the law of karma, and the law of forgiveness, casting the burden and pressing the subconscious, love, intuition or guidance, perfect self-expression or the divine design, denials and affirmations.
Okay.
So those are the chapters.
Okay. Perfect.
So.
Okay. So wealth consciousness is about immersing yourself, right? So the daily affirmation, are you listening to that every day?
Working on the daily part, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm listening to it more than I was.
Okay, good. Let's get it in daily, like even like while you're getting ready in the morning. I know there's lots that you can, but that's going to connect you back to source. Like God is source. That's where we are right now. Everything else are just channels. Asking daily, like, what's one thing I can do to dig a channel, like today, and listen for those drop-ins to come and nudges to come in, and following them, like following through with the direction that you're given. Again, like, okay, who should I reach out today? Really like making God your partner in your job, because he wants you to be successful and he wants big things for you. And he wants you to have the life that, like, how good am I willing to let life get? Well, I'm willing to let it get freaking awesome, The money module. I want you to go and listen to the money module again. Do you listen to the hypnosis that you got at the very beginning of the?
It's been a few weeks since I've done that.
Okay. If you can put it on while you're falling asleep at night, start listening to that. I would immerse yourself in that book, like, and listening to it like daily. Again, like, your money can only grow to the extent that you do. So this is about really getting intentional about how am I going to create wealth.
Which book? The Science of Getting Rich?
Well, Science of Getting Rich, and then the Game of Life and how to play it.
Oh, okay.
So be listening to both of those.
Okay.
And I'm like, am I missing? I want to make sure I'm not missing.
I have a book by Desiree Mangendog. She's Desiree De La Luna now, or something like that. It's called I Am Magnetic.
Okay.
But it's all about, it uses oils and to help move energy.
Okay.
And it's specifically for money. This book is.
Cool.
So I've been through the protocol once, but I should probably do that again.
That'll be great.
She also does workshops.
Oh, cool.
She rotates them so I can see when that is going to happen again.
Right. Okay. That's awesome.
It's like a 3-hour workshop. So sometimes it doesn't match my schedule.
Right. Right.
And it has to be live. So.
Well, let's really focus on this wealth consciousness. So, that we can create opportunities and ways to, in the next 6 weeks, to get you to be able to renew.
Right.
Is there anything else coming up? I've got a send office hour at 1.
Yeah, I have another meeting at 1 too.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
That's probably been the biggest thing is getting myself open to and ready to keep going.
Right.
So,
okay.
Because I want to be, I need to be able to pay my parents back for this, but also for the other stuff that they've helped me with. And so he said, don't worry about this other stuff that's happened years ago. Well, I want to be able to say, here you go. Here's that money back.
Right.
So.
Okay. It sounds like that was at least for him to say, don't worry about it. That sounds like you had a good conversation.
It's kind of a yes and no. It's
okay.
It's more of a guilt and shame type thing, because it's like he doesn't believe that I'll be able to pay him back on this loan that we've gotten. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to show you that I will.
Right.
And then as I do that, I want to be able to say, here's the rest of the money that you've given me.
Awesome.
So.
Okay.
So I want to be able to do that.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else before we hop off?
I don't think so.
Okay. Awesome. I will touch base and see how the wealth consciousness is coming along, and maybe we'll see you at the Rise Up event.
I'm planning on it.
So, okay. Awesome. We will talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Andrea.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.